What's going on, everyone? It's time for another film review. Today we're going to talk about another horror comedy. We're going to talk about the sequel to Basket Case 2. It was released March 2nd, 1990. It was directed by Frank Henenlotter, who did Basket Case and would go on to do Basket Case 3, The Prodigy, which we'll talk about later. But he also did films like Frankenhooker, Brain Damage, and Bad Biology. This had a budget of $2.5 million. So he had like $2 million more dollars to make a sequel. So what did they do? They made a band, a huge group of freaks and stuff. This reminded me a lot of the movie Freaks from Todd Browning from the 1930s, and done a little more creative artistically into it. It's not as offensive. It also reminds me of the horror comedy Freaked, which I'll talk about later on in another video. But so we see our star from the original and Belial, and they meet a young girl who he finds attractive and stuff, and she introduces him to her mother, who actually runs a house of freaks. And now these are way different type of freaks. Like this guy with a moon-shaped head and stuff like that. Very artistic, cool looking prosthetic facials and stuff done. And so they move in, and they find actually that there is someone like Belial living there, and then he sort of becomes boyfriend and girlfriend, romantically involved with this this girl. And then the main character dude is always there, and he really likes the one girl, thinking she's normal and stuff, which you learn later on she's not really. And basically you're hanging out with these hosts of freakishly people, and some weird stuff. Obviously, certain people don't like certain things, and Belial gets mad and goes on a killing spree, and starting to make them look bad and things like that. And overall, it's just a whole lot of fun. I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's a really good follow-up to Basket Case. Now, obviously, it doesn't have the indie charm. This one has a higher budget stuff, but you do get to see a lot more cool effects and makeup effects and stuff. After all, this is the 80s, so optical effects and stuff like that are a little bit in it, but for the most part, it is all a lot of really good makeup practical effects, and it looks really good. And all of them, obviously, they're a little over exaggerated and seem almost cartoony, but I think that's done on purpose, because this is a horror comedy, not just a horror film. The kills in this are pretty good, really good, and a lot of them are staged really well. And there is some pretty good dark moments in it. And the one thing that's not that great in this, it kind of just cuts off from it. Just excuse me. I had to let the dog out. And so there was not a lot of it kind of just cuts off at the end. It just once he realizes the love interest not what we thought, freaks him out. He accidentally kills her, and then he basically goes on a rampage, and you get to see the more psycho side of Belial's brother, and he tries to stitch himself back together. Overall, though, it's a very good follow-up. It's a very creative idea for a sequel, and it's one of those really well-done, executed sequels. You can tell they just went balls to the wall and tried to make something really crazy and wild, and I really enjoy that when films do that. And you see quite a creative side to this. Now, the acting and stuff is a little bit good and bad throughout, but overall it's well shot. Practical effects are really good, and overall it just looks good, and the story is really fun to follow. And I just wish they kind of capped it off a little more, maybe a little more artistically or something, than just cutting it and then all of a sudden it goes. But I think they shot 2 and 3 back to back, so I think that's why they did that. But overall, Basket Case 2 is a lot of fun, and it's on par with the first one. Might even be a little bit better. So yeah, but it's overall a really good film. So definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. I'm going to give Basket Case 2 a 4.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed this film. So yeah, but yeah, check it out if you haven't seen it. I'll link the whole film down below so you can check it out and watch it for free down below. But also make sure you check out my Instagram. It's linked down below. at your download. That's where I post video clips of films and review in the future. On my stories, I have the film title, hashtag, assumption on film, and the hashtag, so you're aware of it. Also, my Letterbox download therapy reviews. That's where I post my first star rating after watching the films, and also my Twitter's down below at reviews_Derek. So yeah. So follow me on those platforms. Stay with this channel. Like this video, share it to more people, wherever. Comment your opinions of the film down below, and let me know if you want me to do the third one sooner rather than later down below. Which I'm probably going to really soon, actually. But yeah, that's coming. But also, if you have any other film franchise in any genre and on any streaming service that you want to hear my opinions on in the future, comment those down below as well. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. And yeah, make sure you subscribe. Hope you find something weird or scary other pineapples out of checking out together, and also share your my opinions on popular films that come out, classic films, and reviews on other things as well. And make sure you ring that bell because, well, we're going to jump back over to the Tremors film to talk about Tremors 5 Bloodlines in the next review. So make sure you tune in for that, and watch out for all those crazy freaks out there going wild and causing havoc in our towns. And I guess I'll see you all in the next review. So until then, cheers.